So now we obviously want to create a new project. So hit Create New. And now we're going to want to pick our canvas size. Your canvas size is just the size of the document that you're going to be creating, and we want that to be the same as Instagram specs. So I've already created my template here, and the way that you can create your custom size is you want it to be in pixel settings, and you want to change it to 1080 by 1080 width and height that you see here on the right. And then once you've done that, you just hit Create, and now you have chosen your custom canvas size in Photoshop. So hit Create. Perfect, and this is what your canvas should now look like. So obviously now we want to import our photo, so I'm going to my Finder and I'm grabbing the image that I want to remove the background from. And once I find that, all I'm going to do is drag and drop onto my canvas, and it should upload automatically. Once your image is loaded, and you'll want to move it to where you want it to be. So there are two ways you can do this. You can either hit Command T on your keyboard, and that will let you move any layer in Photoshop at any time. Or you can do what Photoshop gives you and use the moving tool in the top left corner of the toolbar right here, which is what I do in this tutorial. And it weirdly asks you to do this, but place it, you're not actually placing it, and then you can move the image where you want it to be. So this is where I want my image. Now we're going to remove the background using the pen tool. So we're going to have to select the area that we want to keep. So I'd like to keep what I'm sitting on and myself, and the pen tool allows you to do so in the most detailed way possible. It's a little bit more time consuming, but I like it because it keeps the details. So the first step is to click your first point. Now I'm clicking and I'm letting go right here, and I'm going to create a straight line because they connect the dots. So you're going to click again on your second point right here, and since it's a straight line, it's easy. I'm going to keep going, clicking again and releasing. Now the leg is where it gets a little bit more complicated. There's a curve, and so I'm going to show you how I do that. When you're trying to create a curved line with the pen tool, you're going to, when you click this next point, you're not going to let go of the mouse. You're going to click, hold down, and you can drag to curve the line. So I'm curving the line to match my leg as best as possible. And when I've done that, I'm going to let go, hold the Alt key down on my keyboard, and click the middle black box of the point that I want it to release at. So now I can keep going. I'm going to click, hold down my mouse, drag it so it curves a little bit to where I like it, let go, Alt, click the little box, and then I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to do this all the way around myself until what I want to keep in my image will be selected. So you see I'm clicking, it's a straight line, so I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to click again, I'm going to hold my mouse, drag it, there we go, let go, hit Alt on my keyboard, hold it down, and then click the little back box so I can continue on. And I'm going to do this until I select the entire portion of the image that I want to keep. If you make a point by accident or you don't like the way that you did it, you can erase it by doing Command Z. And if you don't like the point before that, the way that you can keep undoing is Command, Option, or Alt, whatever it is on your keyboard, Command, Alt, Z. And you can just keep undoing until you get it. So I continue around my entire body like this, and I'm not going to keep it in slow-mo this whole way or this video would be so long. So you get the gist of what I'm doing here. I click, drag, make it so that seriously all the details will be selected around myself. And here's where I curve around my shoulder. You get the idea. If this is your first time using the pen tool, it can be a little frustrating to learn, and it might take you a little bit more time. I do it faster now that I've been doing it for a little, but I promise you this trick is the best one that I've learned in Photoshop ever. So take your time, master it, capture everything that you want to be selected, and this trick will serve you well in so many different ways in Photoshop, I promise. So I'm nearing the end here, and when I get to the end of the bench that I'm sitting on, or whatever it is, as I said before, there are a few ways to do this, and you can select the portion that you want to delete from the image, or you can select the portion that you want to keep, and I find it easier to select the portion that you want to keep, so that's what I'm going to do here. So connect the dots all the way around, and once that's done, you'll see them all highlight like so. Now from here, right-click within your selection and make a selection. You won't have to make any changes, just make sure your feather selection is set to 0, and it's going to highlight from which you can make a new layer. Now once that's done, you're going to Command J to create that new layer. And this new layer is being created with the selection that you've made. So once I've done it, you can see on the right, it has popped up as its own layer separate from the original photo. And if you click the little I button from the original photo, you can see here that your background is removed and your selection has stayed the same as its own new layer. On and off, and you can see the difference. And then you can delete your original image once you're done. You have now removed your background. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this served you well. This is how I make selections in my photos and then remove the backgrounds from them, and I use it for so many other different things and random ideas that come to mind. So hopefully this helps you out, and this was a prerequisite to another tutorial that I'm showing you how to make a video in Photoshop, so check out that video next.